Hi, I'm Hannah Wallace and welcome to FinextraTV. With me now in the studio is Paul Thomalla from UNIFITS. Paul, great to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Always great to see you too, Hannah.
Really good to be speaking with you, especially as we're in the lead up to Sibos 2023 in Toronto, where we'll be speaking a lot about the changing payments landscape, as always, because there is a lot of change to be discussed, isn't there?
Well, there is. Let's be honest, whether it's the industry itself wanting to make the change, or it's regulators wanting to make change, there is just a lot of change. Around us we have payments going into the digital era. We have new rails, whether it's Fed now, hopefully NPA soon as well, and of course finally hopefully we're going to get ISO 20022 everywhere. I mean, it wasn't that long ago at Sibos we started that conversation.
That's right.
But whether it's those things that are making the change or it's just new rails, hitting, there is an awful lot to do. And I was trying to do some calculations just on the way here, and roughly there are about 200 countries that have electronic payments. They have 5 rails roughly each, RTGS, ACHs, what have you. It's 1,000 rails. That's a lot of rails to, get live and to make sure they're updated. That's a lot of work, and that's forcing an awful lot of pressure on a small group of people who, frankly, are having to make trade-offs. Can I do this customer request now? Can I do this regulated demand now? Is this the right thing to do for the business? And how about my internal team? Can I get them ready? There's an awful lot of change and trade-off to make.
So that's interesting. Let's unpack then how that's affecting the bank, but also their customer as well then. How is that change having an impact on them?
Well, if we start to think about these things in perhaps, a slightly different way, let's just talk about them for, 3 levels, for instance. So the first level is to get a rail live. It's not the only thing, but it's an important piece. Getting the rail live, and without that you have nothing. And that's really the testing and the making sure that it all works. Okay, well, now I've got it, great. But I now need to do something else. I need to make sure that I do a end-to-end piece. So I send a transaction, I send it over to the operator, and I send that to the counterparty, and we make sure that that all works. Well, that means that I need to have the operator and my counterparty at the same time, all ready to do the same thing. It's pretty hard to find.
Sure.
Now I've done that. Now I need to get something live. The customers want to go live. Of course, the bank wants to go live, and without that, there is no value. But guess what? It always hits the same group of people inside of the bank. Now we can work around that. Obviously, you can hire in a lot more people, but you lose the expertise. You can outsource these things. But actually, what you find is you're just throwing more and more people at trying to unfix the blocker. And the real issue behind it is it's a combination of both business and technology. And that's really, really hard to find right now. So people are having to make choices about what it is they do, which customers come first, which regulators in which country come first. There's a lot of blockers, actually.
Yeah, so what are those blockers? Because you're right, there is so much evolution across the payments landscape, but there's also some challenges and blockers stopping that change coming to fruition and making that progress. So highlight those main blockers for us.
Well, it really comes down to the fact that there's only a set number of people in the bank that can both talk to the customer and understand the business of payments and what needs to happen, what the rails mean, how do you implement ISO, how are you going to go digital. Now, really, the bank and the corporate want to work on that side. That's what they really want to do. They're not interested in the plumbing side of it, just the testing things. And the real issue there is it's not just getting something new, it's every 6 to 18 months, there's going to be a change to the existing rails. So not only do you have to do the bit to go live, you need to maintain this. It really is a hamster wheel of work. So we've been working with our clients to develop smart tools to use our business insight and our technology that allows them to focus on what they really want to do, which is time to value, getting their customers where they want to be, and is saving them about 80% of the time and effort to get there. And that's a really key benefit for these guys.
That's a really positive statistic there. So tell us more, what are UNIFITS doing in this space to meet some of those challenges you've highlighted, because they are significant challenges?
Well, we've developed testing tools, and the testing tools basically automate what was done manually. And whether that's the first one, it's the first level of getting the rail live, all the integration work between the ISO messages, we have processes that make sure that that works pretty much out of the box, pretty simple to do. But also keeps it evergreen. So when the industry changes, that automatically flows through. We automatically work with an operator so that we can pretend and test that we're working with the operator and a counterparty to make sure that they can be onboarded and be seen to onboarded through the whole step. We also work with corporates so that they can onboard quickly. And again, that's an automated process. You don't want to be having to do manual work here. So we have those smart tools, we have those rigs, and we have the business insight to explain how that works. And that's where the value comes in. Insight, smart tools, get you 80% benefit.
Some good advice to end on there, Paul. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing more from UNIFITS and speaking with you at Sibos as well. So we'll see you then.
Look forward to it, Zahra.